So, hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining to the Women Textile Summit in this hour for my presentation. So I believe we can start. It's already like 13:00. So my topic for today is mastering the interview process from technical standpoint. Maybe a few words why I decided to take this topic. Basically, I was on several events previously while working here in Visa. I work in Visa. We'll tell about it a bit later. And basically, pretty everyone after those calls, while networking, was interested in some details about the interview process, maybe some tips and everything, how to pass it. That's why I decided to kind of summarize everything in one presentation, and hopefully it will be useful. Here is some notice of confidentiality from Visa. And yep, hi everyone, my name is Lizaveta Razhkova. Some facts about me. So currently I work as a staff software engineer at Visa. I started working here last year. Overall, I have experience over 7 years. Primarily, it is backend Java, but there was also some Angular and like front-end development in the beginning. I started on my first job on the 3rd year of university and never stopped since. And basically, I worked in different like places, in outsourcing firms, in startups, and in big companies like Visa. Also have some experience in leading and management. And yep, so this question, what should I expect from the interview, pops up once in a while in everyone's life. So I wanted to tell you how it looks like from Visa's perspective mostly, but it actually, I believe, for the interview process for big companies, big tech is really similar. And I hope that it will be useful for everyone. So here, how it looks like. The interview, I will go through the flow of all stages. Firstly, you apply to some job description, some open position. Then the HR, the screening team call you, and they ask some questions like general questions like where you live, are you okay to work in, for example, hybrid mode or something like this. Then there is a technical assessment. It is also called pre-screening. I will talk about it in details a bit later. Then there are technical interviews. It really depends on the job, how many there are. Usually it's from 1 to 3 or something like this. And system design interview. It's also optional depending on your level, on the position that you apply for. Afterwards, there is something that is called behavioral interview. It's like people testing your soft skills, basically. And then the team matching, if everything is fine, you basically talk usually to managers and discuss like, is this particular project is interesting or no? And if everything is great, then the offer comes. And today we will mostly focus on those three above, on those three steps, which are kind of connected to technical part. So let's go. The first one is the pre-screening. So how it usually looks like. You basically receive the URL, the link for Visa, it's Code Signal. And this is a platform where you can kind of do some, where employee, for example, Visa, can test some basic skills that you have for some particular language, basically. And usually For example, for code signal, it's something like you have 70 minutes and you need to solve 4 tasks. They are easy to medium level, so it's kind of doable. This is how it looks like. I believe you have something like 2 weeks time to prepare before the link will expire, and how you can prep basically. There are several platforms like CodeSignal, HackerRun, and LeetCode. I believe there are multiple others where you can go and for free test those problems. I would suggest testing from on easy medium level. It will be enough. And you basically just, as more you train, more confident you feel during the pre-screening. So just I believe it's worth taking some time and prepare. What else? So I wanted also to mention that not every position actually requires some technical interviews. For example, here in Visa we have something like traineeship. It is a position for people who don't have like formal education in IT or previous experience, and that's why like for some positions it's not necessary, but for others it is. So it's always worth to take some time and do this. Also, just for information, during this pre-screening, the platform CodeSignal, it requires to enable, like, to make it available your camera and I believe your screen, to just make sure like no cheating is happening, and just be prepared for it. But if you're just doing by yourself, that should be fine. If pre-screening is okay, then you are contacted and you are scheduled some technical interviews. Technical interviews, that they really can be different. It depends on the interviewer a lot. It depends on the job description or the position that you apply for. So basically they can look differently, and we will just discuss what are the types, how to prepare, and everything. So the first common like way is live coding practice. It also can be different. It can be something similar to pre-screen. For example, you are given some problem. It could be algorithmic or something else or something logical, and you just discuss with your interviewer, ask clarifying questions, solve the problem, and then kind of test it. And this is the first thing that can be on this technical interview. How to prepare, basically same thing as the pre-screening, just more you practice on platforms like LeetCode, more confidence you have. And also, what can be here in live coding. For some projects, for example, companies like or teams, they do not require maybe some algorithmic stuff, and they want to test actually some for example, if it's like Java related position, they may want to test some understanding of Java core, or for example Java streams and everything. So you can be asked to, for example, you can be given the part of code, and you will just need to refactor it to find some mistakes. So everything really depends on the interviewer, and you can't really prepare for anything. So just you should kind of be flexible and adjust on the situation. Also, another thing, how it can go, it's some technical questions. It's kind of like theoretical questions, what it can be about. So I believe we can divide them into two kind of separate groups. First of all, you definitely, like while application, you created a CV and send it to the company, and interviewer will see it. And interviewer will see like all the skills that you have, things that you worked on before, and he may decide to ask you about those skills. And it's important that you can talk about everything that you mentioned in your CV. So just before the interview, review it and make sure that you can answer some basic questions about those technologies or something like this. Another set of questions can be about like some job description that you applied to. There are also specified some like skills that they require. They may ask something about that, about some framework, for example, that maybe you used or not used in the past. Also, there could be asked some questions about, like, some basics of the language, some maybe patterns, some solid principles if we are talking about Java. If it's another language, it can be something else. But here I wanted just to tell you that maybe first advice is before the interview, it's worth looking into internet also for some, common questions that are asked for these positions. Like, for example, Java middle software engineer, what is usually asked, because it's like frequently that you ask exactly same questions, and just make sure that like simple questions and answers for them, and you will feel more confident about them. And also just have in mind that nobody knows everything, so that's okay if you don't know something about some particular question. You can freely talk to your interviewer about that, and that's okay. Okay, so how to prepare also is maybe mock interviews. What it means is just basically rehearsal of the interview. I know that maybe some even companies, they provide this ability, so you can ask HR if I can have a mock interview in the company before. That's okay. And also there are platforms like Premp and Interviewing.io where you can go and also check these interviews. And if you have any friends which are connected with IT, they can help you to ask those questions and to simulate kind of your interview. And there are multiple videos in the internet and YouTube, like you can go and search like examples, try to answer questions, and yeah, you will be fine. Also on mock interviews, what is useful is that, for example, you can try to say everything that you think out loud, and you can understand maybe that, for example, your explanation is not so clear. Maybe it's for interviewers, sometimes it is hard to follow. Maybe your body language is a bit like confusing. So you can basically know all those things during mock interviews. And yeah, the next thing is that I wanted to mention is language and tools. Basically, when you are kind of when you were scheduled the technical interview, you will be given some details about it, like link on what platform it will be. Just make sure that you have some time to go to this link, make sure that it is available, that you have access to it, that you know, for example, how to switch language there, like Java, Python, whatever, so you don't waste your time during the interview on these things. Make sure that like your headphones or like your computer is okay, that you have everything set up. And the last advice is just to be positive and enjoy, because like interview, it's definitely your experience, no matter how it will go. If you're like secure the offer or no, it's still a great experience. Afterwards, in any case, I also suggest you to ask the feedback about your interview, because you may think, for example, that everything went great, but maybe actually it wasn't so great, like from the interviewer side. Yeah, basically, usually all interviewers, they have some kind of preparation also. Everyone like also try to show you like the company, its values, and you are given the opportunity to know more about company. So be positive and ask questions. That's always welcome. And yeah, that's about technical interview. Then there could be system design interview. It's once again, it's really, I believe it's on higher levels usually, but I will quickly go through like what to expect from it. So basically, make sure that you know your previous experiences, if you have some, basically on previous projects, what designs, what systems you had, Was it like maybe microservices or monolith or something else? Did you use REST, maybe WebSocket? Like just what database you use, just be aware of your previous experiences. Ideally, you should also know why you decided, for example, to use like SQL database or NoSQL database. That will be ideal. Then just understanding system design fundamentals, like just basic terms like scalability, availability, maybe load balancing. Everything can be found like in different books and videos. I can just name you some that I used during like my preparations. It is something that is called like System Design Interview and Insider Guide, Groken the System Design Interview, and Byte Go. It is like you can subscribe to their newsletter and receive a lot of like useful things. But basically, from my experience, like everyone really kind of understands different types of courses, videos, and books. So you can find yours. There are multiple. Usually those books and videos, they describe firstly some fundamentals, and then they go to common design and patterns. Basically, it's, there are common questions like, let's design YouTube, let's design Twitter, let's design like some maybe search algorithm or whatever. So yeah, let's design shortener, URL shortener. In books and videos, you can find like examples of how you can design it. I definitely don't recommend to learn it by heart. Just understand the basic concepts, and later you will be able to use it. So yeah, just it's definitely worth to look through it, and also be mindful of your time during the interview, because you can kind of take too much time in the beginning and not come to the like actual finished result in the end. And tools and technologies, here I meant just be aware that there are different types of like tools that you can use for data storage, like different types of databases, different things for caching, login, and whatever. So just you can investigate a bit if you have time before the interview. So, but let's say you're a beginner, and what is essential, like what you should definitely know before applying, before going to interviews, it's definitely some programming fundamentals. Usually by the time you kind of already know what programming language you would like to work with. I will talk a bit more about it later, like how to decide what language to choose if you don't know yet. But basically, for the language you chose, you just need to know those basics. If it's Java, it's just some Java syntaxes, some OOP principles, common libraries and frameworks like Java core, collection types, threads, interfaces. So yeah, that's required, or without it, you will not be able kind of to pass those technical interviews and pre-screening. Then problem-solving skills, like logical problem-solving skills. What I mean here, for example, you receive a task on the interview. Just make sure that you kind of train this approach, that you break the whole task into some, steps that are manageable, and you will just be able to go one by one. For example, you are given a task. You need to clarify it. Just make sure that you're on the same page with the interviewer. Then you need to write the code. Then you need to test the code. So kind of you should have this step-by-step kind of guide in the plan in your head. English. So in most companies, I believe definitely in Visa, it's like this, that we are distributed across the world and the communication usually happens in English. Doesn't matter if it's like Polish office, we still have all meetings in English. So make sure that kind of I believe it's kind of required that you have at least B1 level to understand everything and to communicate with everyone. So just make sure that you train before going here. And soft skills is basically just ability to work as a team, to ask questions, to maybe freely discuss problems, to escalate things. It's kind of important for everyone working in team. And what I wanted also to mention you some red flags during an interview and green flags later. So here are the red flags that I can tell you about. First is bending the truth. It means what I meant here is basically in CV, for example, when you provide a lot of information about yourself, you can sometimes, like someone can tell something which is not true. I just wanted to make sure you know that there are sometimes consequences. What they are is basically there is a really like background check. It is really precise after the offer, and you will be asked to provide some details, some like contracts and everything for every company, for example, you worked before. So it's just it will be uncovered if somebody kind of lied or something. So yeah, just be truthful there, like everything will be all right. And regarding, for example, experience, it's like really different levels, different positions that exist. So there will be for everyone there will be something. The second point is AI during interview. Overall, I just wanted to tell that using AI like Copilot or ChatGPT during your work, it's okay. Because currently, yeah, we have this tendency to use it as a tool while you implementing things, and it is great, and it is encouraged here in Visa too. But when you're on the interview and you are expected to kind of show your like knowledges about some particular things to solve problems by yourself, it's like not good to ask GPT for help, and it is usually visible that like there are long like pauses between answers and questions. So just suggest you not to use anything like this. Then the next red flag is lack of preparation. I particularly wanted to mention that you should definitely know what job and company you kind of interview for right now, because I know that sometimes people, for example, send applications for 10 different positions, right? And sometimes they can come to the interview and not really sure like on what position or even in what company they're currently applying for and have interview for. So make sure you kind of take some time before and make sure that you know details. And just communication issues, it can be really different, like from English to some like not able to ask clarifying questions or something like this. So we also have green flags. Good communication skills, being like positive and everything, that really like a plus for you. I also wanted to tell you that definitely those interviewers, sometimes they even interview people in their own team, right? And it's natural that they want to see, they kind of want to have a good team partner, new team member. That's why it's always to have a kind of to provide a good impression, and interviewers also try to give good impressions as a company. So definitely don't forget about it. Then clarification questions. It's both about the tasks. If it's like technical question, just make sure that you know what you are solving and make sure that you're on the same page with the interviewer. And also afterwards, I believe on any stage of the recruitment, every like HR, some technical person, they leave space for questions and answers from your side. Definitely take this opportunity and ask things. Ask about company, about team, about values, about tech stack, like everything that you are interested in. Maybe some like benefits in company, or how the regular day looks like for the developer or something like this. Because you will be more remembered than if you will not ask any questions, and it shows your enthusiasm. So definitely spend some time and prepare questions before going to the interview. It definitely will be positive. like a plus from your side. Then alignment with company goals. So every big company, at least, and I believe startups and like outsource firms, everyone has a page like on their websites, like about its company goals and values. So make sure that you kind of look through it and know about it. For Visa, it is, for example, lead courageously, execute with excellence, be obsessed with customer, and work as one team, collaborate as one Visa. So there are four, and everyone from CEO to like every software engineer tries to kind of follow those values, and it is definitely great if you kind of aware of it, and also you can show it somehow in your interview. During the interview process, everyone afterwards will have kind of a summary of the interview, and there are those questions about like, is the person aligned with the company goals or something like this, and values. And I guess it's hard to measure sometimes, especially on technical interviews, and mostly it's asked on like behavioral, but still just have this in mind. And yes, and the desire to get better and learn is basically also showing your enthusiasm about like if you are enthusiastic about like working in the company that you desire to work, and that you would like, even if you, for example, on some technical questions you didn't answer something, it's great if you can show that you would like to learn more, that you are interested in it, so it also leaves good impression. Okay, so what mistakes to avoid? It's kind of summation of what we just discussed while preparing for the interview. Lack of research about the company, about the job description, overlooking practice. It's basically not spending time on those platforms like LeetCode and everything, because you can read a lot of theory, for example, about, I don't know, some Java fundamentals or something like this. But then when you kind of go to the interview, you can sometimes struggle with some simple things. For example, you don't really remember how to write, I don't know, for cycle or some streams in Java. And it's really like when you practice more, you will be more confident and you will not have such kind of issues, I believe. Then neglecting soft skills is just basically, as I mentioned, being positive and just showing your attitude, because if everything will go right, you will work as a team together, and it's good to show that you are able to do it. Then poor time management. Here, I mention it from two sides. First is the poor time management before, like for the preparation, before the interview, and the second is poor time management during the interview, because sometimes if you are asked to finish some problem, to solve something, you will have some you can start really slow and clarify it like for half of the meeting and don't have enough time to go to the next problem or something like this. So just be mindful, or get all information and details in the beginning of the interview. Next point is ignoring resume accuracy. As I mentioned before, just make sure that your CV is correct, like that you can talk and discuss everything that you have there. And not preparing questions. As I mentioned, it's really great opportunity for you to be remembered and to know more about the company, about the team. So definitely spend some time to prepare there. Okay. I have a plan here, like kind of, we sometimes decide to kind of prepare really in a short period of time, or maybe we have more time. So here I have plan if we have an interview in one day, in 1 month, in 6 months, and how we kind of can prepare. So if we have interview tomorrow, so definitely I suggest you to spend some time to research a bit about company. It is really great of course, if you know some recent news about company, you can find it, like you can connect to LinkedIn, for example, on the company, or find some podcasts or YouTube videos, something like this. But overall, you just should be aware what company is doing, what domain is it in, maybe what are like technologies there. But if you have time, then the second thing that you should spend some time is closely review job description, just to be prepared what questions could be asked, right? Because maybe some technical questions will be asked about it. Practice some common interview questions. I mean here as like go to the search and find, for example, top 50 questions that are asked for this position, because people share in the internet and sometimes questions like repeat. So just make sure, I believe it is helpful and give you confidence to practice it before. Definitely spend some time to prepare your questions. And here I wrote like have a good night's sleep before the interview. It's basically just make sure that you don't come like without energy at all, because it's kind of can be taken as like lack of enthusiasm or something like this, and maybe you will perform not at your top. So just have some time kind of to feel fresh. Let's say you have an interview in a month. Here it's like everything that you had in the interview in a day, plus you will have some time to analyze like what is the skill gap between the job description and kind of what you can do, your CV basically. You can spend some time to at least have some understanding of those technologies that will be used on this project. So it's always nice. You will be able to have some regular practice. I'm mostly talking about like coding practice. So definitely schedule like every week, every day, you better like some task that you will be able to solve. And you can also, as a third point, spend some time on mock interviews. Definitely helpful. I mentioned before that you can do it on different platforms, on YouTube with your friends, and it really helps to build confidence and to practice. What if it will be in a 6 month? It's really, basically it's good if you already know which company you would like to work in half a year. So definitely if you have it, like research this, like research competitors, like what are the goals, what are maybe strategic decisions that this company makes, what technologies are great in this domain and new to it. So everything will be helpful. And long-term skill development is basically if you, for example, some framework is needed for the job, you can spend some time to learn it. So I also have a section here like for people who didn't start their career in IT, and like how to start a career in IT as a beginner. I have some suggestions here. So firstly, choose a simple programming language. So languages, they are really like, there are a lot. They're different. They can be divided like, high level, low level languages, something that usually is used in the backend, front end, mobile development. Sometimes, if you already know in which domain you would like to work with, some languages different can be used mostly there. For example, Python can be used in machine learning, in data science. Java can be used in banking, in web. So if you already know something that you would like to work in the future, just maybe you can go with this language. But if you don't, just pick the easy language that will just show you like with simple syntax. You can use Java, for example, or Python or JS, and just go with it. Find a basic book. Here, like when I started with Java, I was in 10th grade and I just wanted to pick the university where I wanted to go. And that's why I went to some courses, and I read this like Head First Java book. It's really like, easy, fun, and it has some practice inside, really easy to read. They have different books on different languages, on some patterns, like everything that you can think of. There are more like, I would say, serious or more advanced books, something like, for example, Effective Java. And what I use till this day is documentation. Basically, for example, Oracle for Java, like they have documentation for all, types, libraries with examples. So it's definitely worth looking into it. But I also, with experience, I kind of know that people prefer different types of sources for learning. It could be book, it could be some courses, it could be some videos. So yeah, just try different things if you don't like books, and it will be good enough. Just make sure you kind of have some guides that help you to kind of go through important topics. The next thing is pet projects. Basically, it means like your project, test projects. You can, especially if somebody, for example, not attended like university connected with IT specialists, then it will be a good opportunity, because in universities, like people do those like courseworks and diplomas where they basically create their projects, and this is basically pet projects the same. You can apply all knowledge that you read in books, in videos, in courses, in those projects. You can build some web application. If it would be great if you choose something that is interesting to you. For example, if you are fond of traveling, you can do some traveling website with like visited countries and everything. Normally you will test a lot of things, like usually for applications some data should be stored somewhere, so it will be like connection with database, some REST requests. If it will be front end, you will learn a bit of front end. You will be able to download everything, upload everything into some GitHub and share in your, for example, CV. You can provide a link, and at least you will have something to show or discuss. If you don't have previous experience, you can also go through the projects like that you create by yourself for yourself, and it will also kind of be a good thing to discuss. Next thing that you can do is attend some like courses and tutorials. There are dozens of them. There are platforms like Udemy, LinkedIn, Coursera. You can look through them and enroll on some courses there. I believe they usually vary on topics on the level that you are currently on. So if this type of like learning is suitable and resonate with you, feel free to do it. Next thing that I wanted to kind of mention is certifications. So certifications is an interesting thing. I personally didn't spend much time on it, but I was in a situation in my life. I was like working in a startup, and I needed to hire someone who will be a good DevOps, like a person who, like, set up servers and everything. And we worked on AWS, and I needed a person who can help me to cut costs, to troubleshoot all the issues that we had. And I wasn't at the time really a good person who uses like AWS much, and I didn't. I could ask some questions, but I definitely would have issues to assess, to evaluate the person knowledge. And that's why it really was helpful when the candidate that we end up with basically had AWS certificate, because then I definitely knew, okay, he definitely knows everything. I shouldn't worry much. So it's basically one use case when certificates are useful. Also, for example, if you are applying with a person who has maybe almost same experience as you, then certificate can be useful and can kind of have a plus to you. Just if you decide to go with this option, I would just suggest to use some certificates that have a kind of good naming. I would say like not no name. like certificates, but rather something big like AWS, Oracle, JetBrains, maybe some Microsoft certifications. I know that, for example, for Oracle, they have really different levels of seniority, different certificates. Those certificates usually cost money, so I'm not sure if it's like for everyone, but it's a nice thing to have. And of course, like how to start, it can be through internships and traineeships. Personally, when started, I went to like in internship first on my first job, and then they kind of hired me as a regular employee. In Visa, we also have in positions for internships and traineeships. As I mentioned before, traineeship is for people who don't have like previous formal education in IT. And we also have something like postgraduate. It's like after you finish studies. So yeah, definitely there are some positions open in Warsaw office. So yeah, feel free to look it on the Visa page and find it. I believe not only Visa, but many companies provide those opportunities. So just look at it. And one more thing that I wanted to mention is just, when you're looking for a job, at least for me, at the beginning of my like career, I was happy to work like with every company that were happy to work with me. So I kind of wasn't picky, I would say. But it took me one person to ask like what kind of company I personally would like to work with, and it really made me think about it. And I also kind of suggest you also spend some time and think, create maybe a list of companies where you would like to work in, and go towards this goal basically. And don't afraid, like as I mentioned before, all interviews, technical interviews, they're just a good experience for you, so don't worry, definitely, and don't afraid. So just make sure that this company that you're applying for has some, you share the culture and values that this company has, that you would like to work with the technology stack they have, that the team and is great, that maybe you know somebody from this company and they tell you that it is a great place, and that basically company goals, maybe you know what it does, it kind of resonates with you. So it definitely will make you kind of more, will give you satisfaction to work with this company. So yes, that's basically all things that I wanted to cover. Now there is a time for some Q&A if there are some. Okay, I have one question from Anna. Which IT specialists are the hardest to find nowadays? Maybe there are some narrow areas where, for example, Visa is more often to hiring entry-level guys. Interesting questions. Well, I believe in Visa, for example, we actually more prefer even people who have different kind of, not more prepared. I believe there are definitely a lot of positions for every type of roles. There are some data scientists, but mostly it is more, like wide range of the things that you can do. Because in big companies, it's really, sometimes they have their own technologies, their own frameworks, and you will need to learn it like kind of from scratch, right? But if you're a full stack, for example, employee, and you can go and work a bit on a front end and on the back end, it's also a plus. So it's a kind of hard question, but hopefully I gave some kind of explanation here, that it's for Visa, it's rather, there is appreciation that you can like be flexible and work in different things. It's rather like expected that you will learn a lot of like during your employment, because there are a lot of things that we work like only in Visa, for example. Yeah, I believe it looks like this now. Maybe another question. Is it true that I have a question here from Iga? Is it true that more and more companies are ATS systems in order to reject CVs? Use ATS system in order to reject CVs? If yes, it means that keywords should be adjusted to job offer. Actually, I have here an info from you for you. I talked previously with HR from our company, and I previously also thought that there is some, AI stuff that will go through our CV before real people will look into it. But this HR that works in Visa, she told me that actually it's not really the case. Yes, there are the systems that look for some keywords, and they should be really have some overlap with the job description that we have. So, and that's true that, yeah, you should adjust to the job offer your CV better, because if you don't have anything relevant and you don't have like really keywords for it, maybe you will not be picked up. But regarding the AI part, I don't companies like Visa, for example, they don't really use it because of some, data, personal data that you kind of provide to them. So there could be some issues with it. But it's true that keywords are really important, because like HRs and people from people teams, they look to it, and they should be adjusted. But I also know this thing that there shouldn't be like 100 overlap. It's not like it's okay if it's like 70% overlap of the skills that you need in the job offer and that you have in your CV. So it's okay if not 100% the same, but just make sure that at least like something like 70% of skills is there. It will be good enough to apply for sure. Hopefully it helps. Okay. When you think about mistakes, second. When you think about mistakes in the recruitment process, that could be creatively positive. We made a mistake during the interview, but it led to an interesting solution. What mistakes would have a positive impact on your career? One second, I will need to read more to understand. Make a mistake during interview, but it led to interesting solution on your career. I guess mistakes could be a positive to your career. I guess here, everywhere, for example, let's say you work on some project at Visa, and you find some like security issue or something like this. I guess this could be this could have a positive impact on your career. It's kind of a mistake that you found that you can kind of take and improve for the whole project. I can think of something like this. So you just basically find some issues, and you you volunteer kind of to solve them. That definitely impacts on your career, like that you create some things, improve the product, and that's good. Hopefully it helped. It answered the question. Okay, how to react if HR adds AI as a third participant in the interview? It feels like AI will be evaluating me instead of HR. Yeah, personally, I never had, or never heard actually of something like this. It's a bit strange, as I mentioned before. Yeah, because of maybe some your data that you kind of agreed to share. It's strange. I guess HRs usually maybe don't have all those capabilities to maybe evaluate your technical like abilities. And maybe that's why sometimes they kind of nowadays maybe want to assess it with some AI. That's the only thing I can think of. But I can assure you that like in big companies it doesn't, like in Visa, for example, or that I know of, that we don't have something like this, and usually it's just regular people who will be your future like co-workers. They will evaluate everything. Hope it answers the question. Okay, that's all questions that we had. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And I just wanted to tell that this recording, it will be available for on YouTube and Facebook. So yeah, feel free to look if it will be needed. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, 1 second. We have one more question. Any tips for CV preparation? Well, yes, I can tell you about some tips. Basically, first thing is just make sure that it is up to date. And what is more interesting is always like your last experience. If you just graduated, yeah, you can talk definitely about some maybe pet projects or everything that you can. It shouldn't be too long because like usually it's like 1-2 pages max. You definitely should, as somebody mentioned before, like look at the job description, what are kind of basically they're looking for, what are those, could be those keywords that HR will look for example, software engineer, Java, maybe some framework. So just make sure that you have it on your list if you're aware about it. Also, one important thing is that when you, for example, listing the things that you worked on before, don't write something like, I was working on improving some performance or something like this. It's always better to write some facts like improved performance like 5 times. It became 5 times better because of introducing something. So it's good if you have some bullet points with like numbers and facts, because then it's kind of everyone can understand. And if you say something like I was working on something, like it's not understandable, like how well was it, how long was it. So yeah, just stick to facts. So yeah, here are some tips. Thank you again, everyone who joined. That's all. Have a great day, and yep, looking forward maybe next time to see you.